So, Cecil Smith here, bandana running with the Adidas Ultra Boost 5.0 DNA. And if you're looking for a video where people are kind of gushing over how good a pair of shoes is and how good the company is, probably not that kind of video. I'm going to go in a little bit on Adidas here. And it's not because they're making bad shoes necessarily, but they're marketing shoes, in my opinion, incorrectly, because this is not their premier training running shoe. It's not, but it has almost the same name, and that's a huge problem for me. So if you're looking for a good shoe to start running in, if you're new to running, or you really like Adidas and you're trying to get into running with Adidas, this is not that shoe. Okay, the Ultra Boost 5.0 DNA, in my opinion, the DNA sends for do not attempt to run in the shoe. That's the best I can do, because little bit of story time, then we'll get into the specifics of the shoe. So my son comes home. He's working at a sporting goods store now, and he's like, "Oh, you got to try these shoes. Like, they're so comfortable. They're soft." He's like, "It's the Adidas Ultra Boost." I was like, "Well, yeah, that's gonna be comfortable. It's a top tier running shoe." I was like, "There's no way though. That's the Ultra Boost." He's like, "No, it is. It's like guys at work, really like the shoe. It's super comfortable." He's like, "You gotta try it on." Try it on. All right, it's soft. Yeah, it feels comfortable. I was like, "But it's not the running shoe though, because the running shoe is $190 normally, 180, 190." He's like, "Well, it was, but they marked it down because the new one's coming out, and there's a 50% off sale on Adidas." I'm like, I'm not a huge Adidas fan, but if I can get their premier running shoe, Daily Trainer, for $70 or less, I'll try it. Like, I'll try any top tier shoe for $80. So I go in, I try the shoe on. I was like, like, I guess it feels all right. I was like, and it's their top tier shoe. I was like, I'll give it a try. I was like, I'll give it a try to run in, if nothing else. So I bring the shoe home. I run in the shoe, and it feels like I'm plowing the entire time. And I cannot figure it out. Why this shoe? Because I know other people that run in Adidas that like the Adidas brand. I'm like, this shoe is just not good at all. There's no energy return. There's no cushioning. Like, if you want to do like long recovery days, the grip is not great on the bottom of the shoes. If it's a little bit wet out there, it's slick as anything. The upper is it's comfortable. It looks good, I guess, but it's there's nothing special about it. It's mostly like a cloth type upper, and it's got a booty top. There's no place to do a runner's loop, so you can't really like lock it down. I'm just like, I'm looking at the shoe and I'm not getting it. So I look up some other reviews for the DNA, and it compares it to the Ultra Boost 22, and I'm like, Ultra Boost 22, that's their normal running shoe. That's the premier daily trainer, not the Ultra Boost 5.0. And that's the problem that I have with Adidas. Like, if you're gonna make a premier running shoe that has technology in it that provides a certain give back to you when you're running, and you have a name for it, don't name another shoe almost the same thing that does none of that at all. And I'm not saying the Ultra Boost 22 is a great running shoe. I haven't run in it, or it has a ton of energy return, but this shoe doesn't. I can tell you that, because I have run in it, and after looking up the other reviews, I kind of understand why. The shoe itself is 11 ounces or more, in a size 10.5. The stack height is not super high. There's not a lot of cushioning here to start with. It is the Ultra Boost foam, which is better than the Boost foam, I guess. But because there's not much here, and there's definitely not much in the front, it's a 10 millimeter drop. There's no real cushioning issue. Like, if you want good ground contact, if you want to feel the cracks in the sidewalk when you're when you're running, like this is a shoe where you can feel the ground underneath you. But other than that, like there's no positives. And of the Adidas shoes that I bought, of running shoes that I've bought, the two pair of Adidas that I have that I bought to run in are probably in the bottom 5. And most of the reason is because they're not running shoes, but Adidas continues to market different shoes as running shoes. Now, Adidas has running shoes. They do. They have their, and here's the funny thing, their top tier marathon shoe now. Well, I don't know if it's their top tier, but one of their top shoes, the Takumi Sen, I think it's 8, maybe they're on 9 now, doesn't use the Ultra Boost foam in it. It uses a Light Strike Pro foam, and it has rods in it. So normally you get up in that $180, $190 price range for a shoe. It's going to have some type of technology in it that's helping propel you forward or is getting more out of the foam that's in the shoe. This shoe doesn't have a carbon plate. It doesn't have a nylon plate. It doesn't have rods. It doesn't have any of that stuff. It has their torsion system. I think this was from like back when I was a kid. They had the torsion system. It's nothing special in the bottom of the shoe that's propelling you forward. And the Boost foam, like I said, that marathon shoe that they have now doesn't use the Boost foam because it's too heavy. The shoe's 11 ounces. And let's just go over some other things that they did to the shoe that when you're looking at a shoe from a running standpoint, you're like, what's going on here? So beyond the low stack heights, not much foam in the midsole. They put a ton of rubber on the outsole, but it's not grippy. It's not a grippy rubber, which is odd because I would think like the small little nubs on the bottom or lugs would be kind of grippy, would help you grip, but they don't. Like on a wet surface or something like that, these shoes are slick as anything. You might as well not even have them on. The other thing that they did here that's odd is just the bottom shape here. It kind of comes out and squares off, but it's just a flap of rubber hanging out over the end. It's like a complete waste. The design in the back it's not even. Like this is kind of slanted and it looks worse on the camera than what it is, when you're holding it in your hand. And it's to the outside of the shoe. So that's going to promote like some type of outward rolling, I guess, if you hit right in the back. The other thing about the back, the heel counter, it's around the sides of the heel, but it doesn't come right in the back of the heel. There's nothing right in the back. It completely avoids that part. And it's real heavy, thick plastic on the sides. And the other thing is you have this thick plastic in the middle to it's essentially the whole support because the upper is so materially it's like a fabric almost. There's no structure in it. So you have this plastic kind of giving you the structure of the shoe, this heavy plastic, but then they avoid the heel counter. So I just look at the shoe and I'm like, who thinks this was a good idea and call it a running shoe? The problem is it's not a running shoe. It's a fashion shoe. That's all this is. Adidas, besides, soccer, football, basketball shoes, baseball, like they're in every sport. They have a shoe for every sport. And they do have, marathon and running shoes. They have Adi Zero, Boston, Adios. Like they have multiple tiers of running shoes and also the Ultra Boost 22, but not the 5.0 DNA. But they try to get into this fashion market. So they had the Yeezys, right? And then fell out with Kanye West. That's a whole different thing. It's fine. It's unfortunate for him. But I think Adidas still wanted to be kind of in that fashionable, shoe game. So they have this version, which the Ultra Boost 5.0 DNA. And it's just for looks. That's all the shoe is. There's nothing special about it when it comes to running, like at all. So if you're looking for a running shoe and you're like, oh, maybe I'll get that Ultra Boost 5.0 DNA because it's on sale now and it's a low shoe, don't get it for running. If you want to get it because you think it looks good, cool. But I have not had any luck with Adidas running shoes. And I thought maybe I was going to this time just because it was such a good deal. And I was like, if nothing else, it'll keep miles off of the Brooks Ghost 15 that I just got. It'll stretch them out. I'll get a little bit of a rotation here between it and my Sauconys. But this isn't, the shoe's no good to run in. Like, I don't enjoy it at all. And for the money that you would pay for it, it's ridiculous to even call it a running shoe, which kind of upsets me that they put the Ultra Boost name on it. Yeah, I understand it has Ultra Boost in it, but your daily trainer shoe is called the Ultra Boost 22, and you have essentially the same name on it, and it's not the same shoe at all. It would be the equivalent of Saucony making an endorphin casual shoe or something, or calling it the Saucony Endorphin 5.0 DNA. It's like, was that a running shoe? Nah, just fashionable. Like, if you get it, there's nothing about it that feels good running. There's no energy return. It's not max cushioned. It's a comfortable shoe to just walk around in, but the upper is really, really tight. So it's, if you have big feet, I guess, or really thick socks, it's not a comfortable wear. And part of that's just it's a booty structure. It doesn't have a tongue. It's just all one wrap right around your foot. So it's like a one size fits all. And the upper is this toe box just has so much give in it. Not a huge fan of that. Well, for running, I mean, when you're walking around, don't care. That's fine if that's what you like. It's cool. But for me, and I know there's like other things you can do aftermarket with the Adidas Boost. You can buy stickers or stuff to put on the stripes. You can go kind of crazy. Like that's what this shoe is supposed to be. It's not a running shoe. So I was disappointed, but that's kind of par for the course for me when I get an Adidas pair. The last pair I had was the Adi Bounce. And once again, it was marketed as a running shoe. It's kind of a cross trainer. It's not a great running shoe. It's not for running. You can run in it, but it's horrible. You can run in this shoe, but compared to other shoes out there, it's not great. It's not good, especially not for the money. Especially if you're paying the regular retail price of $190, no way. Even marked down to $144. It's one of the worst shoes that I've ever run in. From a running standpoint, if you want to say it's fashionable, cool. But I can take it or leave it as far as that. I mean, basically all this gives me is something to keep miles off of my other shoes from walking around in it. So, like, they'll just be running shoes now. All right, well, that's all I got. Kind of went in a little bit on Adidas. Just a little bit of history on the Boost. Adidas was actually first to the game with Boost. They came out with it like in the early 2010s, maybe 2012, in that area with BASF. They worked with them to develop it. Before, I think BASF had worked with Puma, and they were going to come up with a foam for them. And I'm not sure what fell apart there, but then Adidas kind of latched onto them and was like, we'll do that. And they came up with a Boost foam. And for a while, that was the only game-changing foam that was out there. And you even had marathon winners like 2014, 50, somewhere in that range that were wearing the Adidas Boost that were winning races. So, there is some history there with that in a running platform. And 10 years ago, maybe this shoe would have been great for running. Would have been revolutionary for running. But in 2023, it's not a good running shoe compared to what's out there now, because everybody has their own proprietary foam. Even Adidas has another lightweight foam, the Light Strike foam. Asics has the Flight foam, or the FF Blast. Nike has Zoom. Saucony has the Power Run PB, and Brooks has the DNA the DNA Loft foam. So everybody's got their own foam now. Even Hoka came out with their own foam last year or the year before. So nobody's doing just the EVA stuff. Everybody has something proprietary that they're using. So the Boost has kind of lost its luster a little bit. It's still around, even though they gave it the Ultra Boost name. Is it that much better? The second generation of Boost, it's still incredibly heavy, still incredibly dense, and you're putting all these little beads. You can kind of see them. You're smashing them together. I think the one benefit that's supposed to be from it, I haven't had Boost before, is that it kind of retains its structure. That's one of the benefits of this material. So after 200, 500 miles of running, there's not a lot of breakdown in the structure. I'm not running in the shoe, so I'll never know. But I'm probably done with Adidas, and that's my opinion of the Ultra Boost 5.0 DNA. All right, be careful.